What's up, Amelia from Revenge Rewired here. Today's story, absolutely wild. Hit subscribe so you never miss one. I sat in the mahogany-paneled courtroom, watching Marcus perform what I'd come to recognize as his greatest act, the struggling everyman routine. After 16 years of marriage, I knew every one of his tells, the slight tremor he added to his voice, for effect the way he rubbed his temples, as if exhausted by life's burdens, the calculated pause before delivering his most convincing lies. Your Honor, he said, gripping the witness stand with white knuckles, I'm living paycheck to paycheck. My salary as a systems analyst barely covers my rent and basic expenses. My wife seems to think I'm hiding some fortune, but I'm showing you everything. Bank statements, tax returns, pay stubs, it's all there. His attorney, Gerald Pritchard, nodded solemnly. Pritchard was expansive $650 an hour, expansive, which should have been my first clue that Marcus's poverty story had some serious holes. Men living paycheck to paycheck don't retain attorneys who vacation in the Hamptons. And what is your current annual income, Mr. Chen? Pritchard asked, as if he didn't already know the answer. $45,000, Marcus said, his voice catching slightly. Before taxes. I watched Judge Morrison make a note. She was in her early 60s, with steel gray hair and a reputation for no-nonsense rulings. I'd done my research. She'd presided over family law cases for 23 years and had a particular distaste for financial dishonesty. Your Honor, Pritchard continued, my client is offering a settlement of $30,000, essentially 2/3 of his liquid assets, to resolve this matter quickly and fairly. Ms. Chen has no children to support. She's perfectly capable of working, and quite frankly, she's trying to bleed my client dry over a marriage that simply didn't work out. Marcus looked at me then, and I saw something flicker behind his calculated expression of exhaustion. Triumph, maybe, or certainty that he'd won. I kept my face carefully neutral, even sympathetic. I'd practiced this expression in the mirror for weeks. Understanding, perhaps a little defeated. Definitely not the face of someone holding a nuclear weapon. Miss Chen. Judge Morrison looked at me. Do you wish to respond to this offer? My attorney, Rebecca Walsh, stood. We'd like to reserve our response, Your Honor. We need time to review the financial disclosures. She's had months to review them, Pritchard interjected. There's nothing more to see. My client has been completely transparent. I let myself look uncertain, even glanced at Rebecca, as if seeking reassurance. Marcus's shoulders relaxed slightly. He thought he had me. What he didn't know was that 3 months ago, on a rainy Tuesday in February, I'd made a phone call that would change everything. It started with Marcus's laptop. He'd always been careful, cleared his browser history, used incognito mode, kept his phone locked with biometrics. But one evening in late January, he'd been drinking scotch while working on his computer. Expensive scotch, Macallan 18, to be specific, which retailed for about $350 a bottle. Strange purchase for a man barely scraping by. He'd fallen asleep on the couch, laptop still open, and I'd seen it, a browser tab showing a cryptocurrency exchange I'd never heard of. Before I could read more, the screen had gone dark, locked automatically, but I'd seen enough to know something was wrong. The next morning, I called Rebecca Walsh. She was a friend of a friend, specializing in complex divorce cases. I think my husband is hiding assets, I told her. I need someone who can find them. How hidden are we talking? She asked. Offshore accounts, cash businesses, cryptocurrency, I said. I think he's been buying Bitcoin or something similar. There was a pause. That's actually more traceable than people think, Rebecca said. Let me connect you with someone. 2 days later, I met Jennifer Martinez in a coffee shop in downtown Seattle. She was younger than I expected, mid-30s, with dark hair pulled back in an efficient ponytail and the kind of intense focus that made me understand why she came so highly recommended. I'm a forensic accountant specializing in digital assets, Jennifer explained, pulling out her laptop. Cryptocurrency isn't as anonymous as people believe. Every transaction is recorded on a public ledger called a blockchain. The trick is connecting wallet addresses to actual people. Can you do that? I asked. If he's been converting cryptocurrency back to regular money, or if he's made purchases with it, yes, there are always breadcrumbs. She looked at me seriously. My retainer is $25,000 for a full investigation. If we find significant assets, it's worth every penny. If we don't find anything, you're out that money. Are you comfortable with that risk? I thought about the Macallan 18, the new Tesla he'd bought last year. claiming it was a lease through work. The weekend trip to Miami with his college buddies had cost, according to the credit card statement I'd seen, almost nothing, as if someone else had paid for his hotel and flights. I'm comfortable, I said. Jennifer nodded and pulled out a contract. I'll need access to anything you can get me. Tax returns, bank statements, credit card records, email passwords if possible. Also, think about when his behavior changed. When did he start acting differently about money? I thought back. About 4 years ago, I said slowly. He got really interested in technology news. Started talking about decentralized finance and blockchain revolution. I thought it was just a hobby. 4 years ago, Bitcoin was trading around $8,000 per coin, Jennifer said, typing notes. The math made my head spin. So, if he bought... Let's not speculate yet, Jennifer interrupted gently. Let me do my work. I'll need about 6 weeks for a preliminary investigation. Longer, if I find something complex. Don't change your behavior at all. Don't let him know you're suspicious. For the next 6 weeks, I lived a double life. During the day, I played the role of the confused, hurt wife navigating an unwanted divorce. I attended mediation sessions where Marcus's attorney presented financial statements showing modest savings and mounting debt. I listened to Marcus explain, with apparent sincerity, how his career had stalled and money was tight. At night, I forwarded emails to Jennifer. I photographed documents Marcus left in his home office. I remembered passwords and account numbers and the names of apps I'd seen on his phone, and Jennifer worked magic. 7 weeks after our coffee shop meeting, Jennifer called me. We need to meet in person, she said, and you should probably sit down for this conversation. We met at her office, a sleek space in a financial district high-rise. She had a presentation ready, displayed on a large monitor. I found it, she said simply. All of it. The screen showed a complex web of wallet addresses, transaction records, and traced cryptocurrency movements. It looked like something from a spy movie. Lines connecting nodes, dates and amounts highlighted, patterns emerging from apparent chaos. Your husband, Jennifer began, started purchasing Bitcoin in March 2019. His initial investment, based on bank transfers I traced to an exchange called Coinbase, was approximately $50,000. My breath caught. $50,000. Where did he get that kind of money? Tax refund and a bonus from work. According to the records, he made the purchases in increments. 5,000 here, 10,000 there, over about 8 months. Very careful, very deliberate. She clicked to the next slide. In 2019, Bitcoin was trading between $4,000 and $8,000 per coin. If we averaged his purchase price at around $6,000, he acquired approximately 8 Bitcoin, and now those would be worth ... about $344,000. Jennifer said, but that's just the beginning. She pulled up another chart. Your husband isn't just holding Bitcoin, he's been actively trading. I traced transactions across 12 different wallets, some on exchanges, some in private cold storage wallets, some in DeFi platforms. He's bought Ethereum, Litecoin, Cardano, and several smaller altcoins, and he's been very, very successful. The numbers on the screen made my vision blur. How successful? As of yesterday's market close, I can document cryptocurrency holdings totaling $3.2 million. I sat down, even though I was already sitting. 3 million. 3.2, to be precise. Jennifer's voice was calm, professional, but I could hear the satisfaction underneath. This was a major find. The portfolio breaks down like this: 1.8 million in Bitcoin, 900,000 in Ethereum, and about 500,000 spread across other cryptocurrencies. How did you find all this? I asked. I thought cryptocurrency was supposed to be anonymous. Jennifer smiled. That's the myth. The reality is that blockchain transactions are completely public. You just need to know how to read them. I started with the transactions. I could verify the transfers from your husband's bank account to Coinbase. Those gave me his initial wallet addresses. She pulled up a detailed transaction log. From there, I used blockchain analysis tools to trace every transaction those wallets made. When cryptocurrency moves, it leaves a permanent record. I could see him transferring coins from exchange wallets to private storage, moving funds between different wallets, converting Bitcoin to other currencies. But how do you know all these wallets belong to him? I asked. Couldn't they belong to anyone? Pattern analysis, Jennifer explained. Watch this. She played an animation showing transactions flowing between wallets over time. See how funds move in predictable patterns. He transfers from Coinbase to a primary storage wallet, then distributes to different wallets for different purposes. Some wallets are used for trading, some for long-term holding, but they all trace back to those original purchases we can definitively prove came from your husband's bank account. She clicked to another screen. Plus, he made mistakes. He used the same email address for multiple exchange accounts. He conducted some transactions during times I can prove he was online based on his IP address I cross-referenced with email login times. And most importantly, he cashed out $80,000 last year. He did. I tried to remember any major purchase. That Tesla, Jennifer said. I found the dealership transaction. He put down $80,000 in cash structured as multiple cashier's checks to avoid reporting requirements. Those checks were purchased with funds traced directly to a Bitcoin sale on Coinbase. He converted Bitcoin to US dollars, waited 2 days, then bought the checks. My hands were shaking. So you can prove everything. I can prove the initial investment came from his traceable bank account. I can prove the pattern of transactions across multiple wallets controlled by the same entity him. I can prove the cash out for the Tesla purchase, and I can show the judge the current wallet balances, which are public information on the blockchain. Jennifer's voice was firm. This will hold up in court. I've written a 42-page report documenting every transaction, every wallet address, every piece of evidence. I've included blockchain screenshots, timestamped and verified. I've traced the money flow with charts even a non-technical judge can understand. She handed me a bound document. This is your evidence. Your husband lied on his financial disclosure. He committed perjury when he testified he had minimal assets, and he's about to learn that cryptocurrency isn't the secret hiding place he thought it was. 2 weeks later, we were back in Judge Morrison's courtroom. This time, I felt the weight of the report in my attorney's briefcase like a physical presence. Marcus's attorney started with a motion to finalize the settlement. Your Honor, my client has made a generous offer of $30,000, representing the majority of his liquid assets. Ms. Chen has had ample time to review the financial disclosures. We move to accept this settlement and close this matter. Judge Morrison looked at Rebecca. Ms. Walsh, does your client accept the settlement offer? Rebecca stood, and I saw Marcus lean back slightly, confident. No, Your Honor. In fact, we have new evidence that dramatically changes the financial picture of this case. We'd like to submit a forensic accounting report prepared by a certified financial examiner. Pritchard was on his feet. Objection, Your Honor. We've exchanged all financial discovery. This is the report concerns assets Mr. Chen failed to disclose. Rebecca interrupted smoothly. Assets that directly contradict his sworn testimony about his financial situation. Judge Morrison's expression sharpened. Approach. Both attorneys went to the bench. I watched Marcus's face. He looked annoyed but not yet worried. He still thought this was a fishing expedition. A desperate attempt to find money that didn't exist. After a hushed conversation, Judge Morrison said, I'll allow the report. Mr. Pritchard, you'll have time to review and respond. Ms. Walsh, call your witness. Jennifer Martinez walked into the courtroom like she owned it. She was dressed in a sharp navy suit, carrying a laptop and a thick folder. After being sworn in, she settled into the witness stand with calm competence. Ms. Martinez, Rebecca began. Please state your qualifications for the court. I'm a certified fraud examiner and forensic accountant, specializing in digital asset investigation. I have a Master's degree in accounting from NYU and IVE, been conducting forensic investigations for 11 years. I've testified as an expert witness in 43 cases involving hidden assets, primarily cryptocurrency cases. And did I retain you to investigate the financial situation of Marcus Chen? You did, on February 14th of this year. What did you find? Jennifer opened her laptop, and her presentation appeared on the courtroom's screen. I watched Marcus's face carefully. He was frowning now, leaning forward to see. I discovered that Mr. Chen has been purchasing and trading cryptocurrency since March 2019, Jennifer said. Over that time period, he has accumulated digital assets currently valued at $3.2 million. The courtroom went silent. Marcus's face didn't go white, it went gray, like concrete. That's absurd, Pritchard said loudly. Your Honor, you'll have your chance, counsel, Judge Morrison said sharply. Her eyes were fixed on the screen. Ms. Martinez, continue. Jennifer pulled up the first chart. I traced Mr. Chen's initial cryptocurrency purchases to his Coinbase account, opened in March 2019. I've documented transfers totaling $50,000 from his Wells Fargo checking account to Coinbase. Over an 8-month period, she displayed bank statements with highlighted transfers. These are Mr. Chen's bank records, which show the transfers clearly. Marcus was whispering urgently to his attorney. Pritchard's face had gone tight. Mr. Chen used these funds to purchase Bitcoin when it was trading between $4,000 and $8,000 per coin. Jennifer continued. He acquired approximately 8 Bitcoin initially. But he didn't stop there. He's been actively trading cryptocurrency across 12 different wallets for the past 4 years. She pulled up the wallet transaction map, the complex web of addresses and transfers. I traced every transaction from those initial purchases. Mr. Chen moved his Bitcoin from the Coinbase exchange to private storage wallets. She highlighted several wallet addresses, then distributed his holdings across multiple wallets for different purposes. How do you know these wallets belong to Mr. Chen? Rebecca asked. Multiple verification methods, Jennifer replied. She clicked through slides showing her evidence. First, the blockchain shows a clear transaction trail from the verified Coinbase purchases to these wallets. Second, Mr. Chen used the same email address for multiple cryptocurrency exchange accounts, which I documented through Discovery. Third, transaction timing correlates with Mr. Chen's verified online activity. Cross-referenced transaction times with email login data showing his IP address. She pulled up the Tesla purchase documentation. Most importantly, Mr. Chen cashed out $80,000 in Bitcoin in August of last year. I traced those funds from this wallet. She highlighted a specific address through a Coinbase sale to US dollars, to the purchase of multiple cashier's checks, to the Tesla dealership where Mr. Chen purchased his vehicle with cash. The screen showed the complete paper trail, blockchain transaction, Coinbase sale receipt, bank records showing the cashier's checks, and the Tesla purchase agreement. The current value of Mr. Chen's cryptocurrency holdings is documented here, Jennifer said, displaying a spreadsheet. As of yesterday's closing prices, 1.8 million in Bitcoin across 5 wallets, 900,000 in Ethereum across 4 wallets, and approximately 500,000 in various other cryptocurrencies across 3 additional wallets. Total, $3.2 million. Judge Morrison was leaning forward, studying the evidence. And all of these wallet balances are verifiable. Completely, Your Honor. Cryptocurrency wallet balances are public information recorded on the blockchain. Anyone can verify these balances at any time. I've included the wallet addresses in my report, along with screenshots from multiple Blockchain Explorer websites showing the current balances. The blockchain doesn't lie, Your Honor. Pritchard stood abruptly. We need time to review this report and verify Mr. Chen. Judge Morrison's voice cut through the room like a blade. You testified under oath that you were living paycheck to paycheck. You stated your total assets were approximately $45,000. You offered a settlement of $30,000 representing 2/3 of your liquid assets. Her voice was ice. Were you aware of these cryptocurrency holdings when you testified? Marcus opened his mouth, closed it. His face was now visibly pale. Your Honor, cryptocurrency is volatile. It's not like real money. You didn't think it counted as an asset. Judge Morrison's eyebrows rose. You didn't think $3.2 million was worth mentioning in your financial disclosure? Could we have a recess? Pritchard's voice was strained. I need to consult with my client. Oh, I think we need more than a recess, Judge Morrison said coldly. Ms. Walsh, I'm going to ask you to file an amended petition including these assets. Mr. Pritchard, your client has some serious explaining to do and I suggest you consider whether he needs separate counsel for the perjury issue we're now facing. The word perjury hit like a physical blow. Marcus actually flinched. We're adjourning for 2 weeks, Judge Morrison continued. Mr. Chen, you are ordered to provide complete documentation of every cryptocurrency wallet, exchange account, and digital asset you control. You will freeze all cryptocurrency assets, no transfers, no sales, no movement of any funds whatsoever. Ms. Martinez, I'm appointing you as a special examiner to verify compliance. If a single Satoshi moves without court approval, Mr. Chen, you'll be held in contempt. She looked at Marcus with unveiled disgust. I've seen a lot of things in this courtroom, but lying under oath about millions of dollars while claiming poverty, that's a new low. Dismissed. The 2 weeks that followed were a blur of legal maneuvering. Marcus's attorney tried to argue that cryptocurrency was different from traditional assets, that the volatility made valuation uncertain, that somehow $3.2 million shouldn't really count as $3.2 million. Judge Morrison wasn't buying it. Jennifer conducted a complete audit of Marcus's digital holdings. She found 2 additional wallets he'd initially failed to disclose, bringing the total to $3.4 million. She traced his trading history and determined that he'd been systematically hiding profits while paying minimal taxes, a detail she was legally obligated to report to the IRS. The final hearing was almost anticlimactic. Mr. Chen has agreed to the following terms, Pritchard announced, looking like he'd aged 5 years. Division of all marital assets, including cryptocurrency holdings, with Ms. Chen receiving 60% of the digital assets, valued at approximately $2.04 million. Mr. Chen will also pay Ms. Chen's legal fees and forensic accounting costs, totaling $97,000. Judge Morrison looked at Marcus. Do you understand that you're admitting these assets existed throughout your divorce proceedings and that you deliberately concealed them? Marcus's voice was barely audible. Yes, Your Honor. I'm also referring this matter to the District Attorney's Office for potential perjury charges. Judge Morrison continued. You lied under oath in my courtroom, Mr. Chen. You attempted to defraud your wife of millions of dollars. Whether criminal charges are filed is now out of my hands. But I want you to understand the seriousness of your actions. She signed the order. The assets will be divided according to the settlement. Ms. Martinez will supervise the cryptocurrency transfers to ensure compliance. This court is adjourned. Outside the courtroom, Rebecca hugged me. You did it, she said. You trusted your instincts and you found the truth. Jennifer was more pragmatic. The cryptocurrency transfers will take a few days to process. I'll work with your financial advisor to convert the funds to more stable assets, unless you want to hold some in digital form. Convert it all, I said immediately. I want nothing to do with cryptocurrency ever again. She smiled. Can't say I blame you. I'm writing this from my new apartment, a place Marcus never knew about, never set foot in, can never associate with our shared past. It's smaller than the house we owned together, but it's mine. Completely, legally, undeniably mine. The $2.04 million has been converted to a diversified portfolio of traditional investments. My financial advisor estimates I can live comfortably on the investment income alone if I'm careful, or continue working and let it grow for a very comfortable retirement. Marcus faced consequences beyond the financial. His employer launched an internal investigation after learning about the hidden assets. Apparently, the company had strict disclosure requirements for employees in his position. He resigned before he could be fired. The IRS audited his returns for the past 5 years and assessed significant penalties for unreported cryptocurrency gains, and the professional network he'd spent years building disappeared overnight once word spread about what he'd done. Last I heard, he was working as a contract IT consultant, making about what he'd claimed to be earning all along, $45,000 a year. The irony isn't lost on me. People asked me how I knew, how I suspected. The truth is, I almost didn't. If Marcus had been just slightly less greedy, if he'd disclosed even some of the cryptocurrency, if he'd offered a settlement of $200,000 instead of $30,000, I might have taken it and walked away. But his arrogance was his downfall. He couldn't resist the performance, the struggling husband routine, the tears about being bled dry, the condescending offer of pocket change while sitting on millions. He needed me to believe I was getting more than I deserved. Instead, he gave me the motivation to look deeper. Jennifer Martinez became something of a specialist after our case. She's testified in 17 more cryptocurrency divorce cases, finding hidden assets every single time. Apparently, Marcus was the only husband who thought Bitcoin was a secret piggy bank his wife would never find. They were all wrong. The technology that Marcus thought would hide his wealth, the blockchain, the decentralized exchanges, the anonymous wallets, turned out to be his undoing. Every transaction permanently recorded, every transfer traceable, every lie documented in immutable digital ink. I keep Jennifer's report in my safe deposit box. All 42 pages of it. I'll probably never need it again, but I like knowing it's there. Physical proof that I wasn't crazy, wasn't greedy, wasn't trying to bleed anyone dry. I was just a wife who knew her husband was lying, had the courage to investigate, and found the truth hiding in plain sight on the blockchain. 3.2 million reasons why you should never underestimate the woman sitting across from you in divorce court, nodding sympathetically while you lie under oath. She might already have the forensic accountant on speed dial.